welcome all of you for being here. And thank you so much for your interest in Invest for Better and coming to learn a little bit more about who we are and what we do. My name is Janine Firpo, and I'm one of the co-founders of Invest for Better. And my goal today is to introduce you a little bit to our organization, explain what it means to be a member of Invest for Better, and talk to you about what we call our circle experience, which is probably what brought many of you to this conversation today. I'm going to talk for about 20-25 minutes, give you a background on our organization, etc. And then we'll open the room to Q&A. And you should have all the information you need about our organization and whether this might be a fit for you within 40 to 45 minutes. And then we'll let you go on to the rest of your evening or afternoon. So let's get started a little bit with who we are. So Invest for Better is a nonprofit organization that was launched in September 2021. And it was founded by myself and another woman by the name of Ellen Remmer. And both Ellen and I have been working for a really long time to invest our money in ways that align with our values. And even though we came to this decision from very, very different trajectories, we both found at one point that it was really important to us what our money was doing in the world. And we realized that we could have our money doing things that were having a greater impact and that were more aligned with who we were with people and what we wanted to see in the world. And so we started on those journeys ourselves. And during COVID, I started working on a book because I wanted to help other women understand how to invest this way and to make it easier for them than it had been for me. And the book is called Activate Your Money. And when women sign up to become members of Invest for Better and go through our circle experience, they get a copy of the book. Ellen, at the same time, was busy putting women into small groups back in Boston to help them think about how they could align and invest their money in more meaningful ways. And we were introduced to each other and got to know each other, really saw the overlap between what we were doing and decided to join forces and create Invest for Better. And part of what I really love about this organization is not only that Ellen and I chose to collaborate rather than compete, but our entire organization is a collaborative endeavor. Our courses have been built by other women. Women have shown up from all over to help lead our courses. They are committed to being there. Financial advisors show up and support our members, and they're all doing this on a volunteer basis because they believe in what we're doing and they believe in our mission. And our mission is simply to empower women to understand the power of their investments and to learn how to align them in ways that create a more just and sustainable world. So that is who we are a little bit, and that is what we're doing. And we are really, really pleased that you're here and wanted to know a little bit more. So to give you just a bit more background, I'm going to show you a very short 2-minute video that we put together that defines our values, our mission, and our goals, and gives you a better insight into who we are and what we're trying to accomplish. So let me run that for you.
Money is power. So you work hard to get it and you work hard to keep it. You're doing well, but you also want to do good. For you, it's not just about wealth creation. It's also about being in alignment with your values. But investing your money and making decisions about where to move it can feel overwhelming. Where do you start? How do I know what I'm invested in? What if I'm funding things I don't agree with, like fossil fuels, prisons, tobacco, weapons? How do I move those funds into where? What if I make a mistake? The current financial system was built by men for men. And while most men learn from other men how to use the system to their advantage, a lot of women don't have those conversations. You feel like you don't know enough to take action with your money, and you don't have time to figure it out on your own. Women are more likely than men to give to charity as their income rises, but we don't trust ourselves as investors. It feels like the financial system doesn't speak to us. You're frustrated with what feels like a flawed financial system. You realize that you're not in control of your own money. What if we told you there's a better way? At Invest for Better, we are leading a movement to build a better system that aligns with our values. We're doing this by educating women on a different approach to investing. It's not about giving money away, and it's not about profit at all costs. Values aligned investing is about investing in what matters to you and getting great returns along the way. Things like sustainable food and agriculture, supporting female small business owners, or clean energy. We can help you do this. Invest for Better is a values aligned money academy with peer led investing circles and a trusted community built by women for women. We are a movement that is reimagining investing. We've created a values aligned investing curriculum that demystifies the financial system. Our peer led investing circles help you learn how to use your investments as a force for meaningful change. And more than anything, we are a trusted community of women who encourage each other to take action and have fun along the way. Unlike guides you've had in the past, an advisor who talked down to you, a book that told you to just save more than you spend, we're not interested in perpetuating the status quo. We're here to help you step into your power. Join the ranks of all the fierce women who are courageous enough to do things differently. Join the women who are leading the way with Invest for Better.
Okay, so that gives you a little bit more sense of the ethos that's behind us. But I want to talk to you a little bit about what really sets us apart. And there are two main things in my view that does that. First, we're not only teaching our members how to become competent investors, because if you're going to be a values aligned investor, you have to be an investor. It is core to investing with your values. But we also teach you, so we teach you about how to invest, but we also teach you a values aligned approach to making those decisions. So we help you really see what is possible in the world across all asset classes, so you can make investment choices that support the things that you care about. This is a really unique and different approach to investing, and we believe it's a very important one. The reason that we think it's so important is because whether you're aware of this or not, we are currently in the midst of the greatest wealth transfer that has ever occurred in this country. And by 2030, women are going to control $30 trillion. We are actually going to control more money than men do. And I think you're aware that money and power are very intertwined and have been for a long time. And for most of our history, that money and that power has been in the hands of men. So it's not surprising that we don't have healthcare solutions that are built by and for women, or that we don't have the kinds of things that we need. That isn't where the priorities have been before. But we as women are sitting at a very unique time right now, because collectively we have the power to literally change the economy. We have the power to change what matters. We have the power to change the kinds of products and services that are offered, from what has been the status quo to what matters to us and what matters to our kids and our grandkids. So we really care about this issue because we see the potential in ourselves as individuals and also in ourselves collectively. The other thing that's really different about what we do is that we don't teach women alone. So a lot of times financial education is very soloed. You're out there on your own, you're trying to learn, it's hard, it's confusing, and you're left alone to make your own decisions. But that is not how we are as women. Women like to do things collectively. We've been doing that for a long time. We have sewing circles and cooking clubs and book clubs and all kinds of things. And investing doesn't have to be any different. In fact, the most powerful learning I've personally received in my life around investing has come from the 3 different investment clubs I belong to. So we put women together in small groups of 8 to 20 women who learn together, who talk to each other, who share their fears, their hopes, their realities, and who learn from each other. And it is an incredibly empowering way to learn about investing. Our members tell us that these conversations that they have in their circles are the best part of being members of Invest for Better. And it's something that most of us have never done before. We've never had a safe space to talk to other women about our money. And it's really surprising when you start to do this, when you start to have conversations, that you actually know more than you think you do. And you begin to be able to ask questions of other women. Well, how did you do this? And why did you do something that way? And how might that apply to me? And this is what I did. And it's a really incredible and quite different way of learning. So these are the two things that make us quite different. We always think about our values when we think about our investments, and we always try to do things in community. You saw this slide in the video that I showed you, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on these different aspects of who and what we are. So first of all, we have created a lot of curriculum. We have both something called our core curriculum, which is our foundational learning, and I'm going to go into more detail about what that is in a minute. But we also have a series of what we call deep dives. And these are our advanced courses, and they cover things as diverse as how do you make a values aligned investment in the stock market, since the vast majority of us are invested in the stock market, to what is angel investing and how does that work? And is that even appropriate for someone like me? To what do I do if I want a financial advisor, and how do I find one that will help me invest this way? So we have enough curriculum that if you wanted to take all of our courses, you could be studying for 2 years. There's a lot of information that we have created. The other thing we've done is, as I've just mentioned, we have these investing circles. It's how both our core curriculum as well as our advanced courses are taught in community. And that trusted community, we have now trained over 2,000 women in this kind of investing. And those women stay together and continue to build bonds and strengthen and support each other, because it's another very important part of what we do is having women who are supporting women in their investment journeys. This is how our investing circles work. As I mentioned, they are small groups of women, usually 8 to 20 women. It says here that they meet once a month, but actually the timing is very flexible. So some of our circles meet every 2 weeks. Some of them meet once a month. Some of them meet in person. Some of them meet virtually. Some of them meet as hybrids. So there is a lot of flexibility here in terms of how and when circles actually meet. They tend to be facilitated by either someone you know. So many women come into a circle because a woman that they know has invited them. Or if you're coming to us from another mechanism and you have not been invited to join some particular woman's circle, we will help you move into a circle and you will meet a great leader that way. In our deep dive courses are facilitated by experts in the subject matter. So each of our circles has a unique way that it forms and a unique way that it's facilitated based on the needs of the women that are part of that particular circle. When you come together in a group and have a conversation in a group, our group meetings are usually 90 minutes in length. You will have some pre-work that you do before you come into that group meeting. We've tried really hard not to overburden women. We know you're all really busy. You all have a lot of other things going on in your lives. And so it's about 30 minutes of pre-work for each session and then 90 minutes in a meeting. So depending on your cadence, you're looking at a couple of hours of work every 2 weeks or every month or every 3 weeks, whatever your cadence happens to be. In the meeting itself, you'll have facilitated learning. You will also be breaking down into small groups, and then you'll have large group discussions as well. So it's a multifaceted form of learning. That pre-work that you're going to be doing will include things like reading a little bit. Often there's a component of the book that you will be reading from. You maybe will be watching a video or listening to the audio track from that particular recording. And sometimes there's research or worksheets to fill out. So those are the kinds of things that you do as you're preparing for your meeting. Traditionally, our core curriculums have had 6 sessions each, and our deep dive courses have a variety of 3 to 5 sessions depending on that particular course. So that is the structure of the circles. What I'd like to do now is just run another short video for you of some of our past members talking about their experience, so you have a little better sense of what it feels like to be in a circle.
for Better circles are doing is I just believe this is capturing kind of a movement, a feeling across the country that I'm noticing, and I'm sure many of you are. That's why we're all here today. That women are just like ready to be empowered about their money in ways that we never have, that we historically have not been. Just if there's any ounce of you that's a little bit nervous or feeling, what have I gotten myself into? I felt that way, and now I'm like, oh, you know, that was not an issue. This is a community. We're all here together, learning together. You don't have to know all the things. We're all, and it's just great that you're doing this, and let's get more of these circles happening all across the country.
I joined an Invest for Better circle to meet and collaborate with other women to move the needle on racial justice investing in particular. The circle led me to recruit other women with influence into deeper impact investing, and I've got a list of action steps to further align money with values, both in my own portfolio, but also with the organizations I'm involved with in my denomination's endowment and a local foundation. Join the circle and spread the word. It's an awesome experience.
A couple of years ago, I started an Invest for Better circle so that I could learn alongside other women in my community about how to shift our money to align with our values. And I'm so glad I did. Not only have I made personal changes in where my money is invested, but I've also been able to learn alongside others. And we've built an amazing network of women who are learning and growing and making change. I'm so thrilled to be part of the Invest for Better network, and I hope you'll join too.
Perfect level for our members to be having these conversations. Some of the feedback we've gotten from them is that, you know, not ready to really create my, you know, official plan just yet, but I feel so much more empowered. I feel so much more fluent. I have increased awareness. Now when I see a news article about impact investing, I feel a part of the conversation, and just feeling more ready to have those conversations in their households and establish a plan.
Really enjoyed was really diving into how you personally view money. I actually took some of this learning and over the weekend worked with my own family to figure out some of our own financial archetypes and different things like that. And it brought up some really, really interesting discussions that I think will really help our family personally.
This is such a great way for me to continue to grow my own understanding of this and really be able to figure out what kind of actions I want to take. The greatest space for everybody to just bring whatever you're bringing to the table and let's learn together. And that's really what it is. It's about, let's just learn together and find out about this stuff. It was also a really great way for us to continue to build a network beyond ourselves into these other, you know, incredibly smart, intelligent, funny, wonderful women that are doing some really amazing work.
I just lost the share, didn't I? Do you guys still see it?
We could, but then it just came down a second ago.
It just disappeared, didn't it? Okay. Hold on one second. Are you seeing it again?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, terrific. Sorry about that. Okay, so one of the first things you do when you go into the circle, when you have your first meeting, is you set rules around the codes of conduct of that circle, because, and these are suggestions, but every circle can modify them to meet their particular needs. The purpose of this is, if we're going to have truly a safe space for us to talk about our money, then we all need to agree to certain things around confidentiality and privacy. It's really important for you to know that even when financial advisors are leaders, and they often are, this is a no-sell place. They come to share their knowledge and their expertise and experience. They are not suggesting that you become their client. They are not selling you a product. We do not believe in that kind of thing. We really want to have a place that's neutral where everyone can learn together. We really ask that everybody participates to the best of their ability. If some people in some circles are very heterogeneous, and they have women who are young, women who are older, women who have just starting on their financial journeys, women who have been on their journeys for a long time, different levels of wealth, etc. So just respect everybody in the circle and let whoever wants to speak up and talk do so, and respect the space. So these are just examples of the kinds of things that we think are really important to create a learning space and a friendly space to communicate on your journey. So this is some of what you can expect from the core curriculum, which is really our foundational training. It gets you started on the basics of this kind of investing. So the first thing that you're going to learn is you're going to learn what this kind of investing is and how it works. You're also going to go into, in one of your early meetings, conversation about our money stories. So all of us have deep held beliefs, conscious and unconscious, based on the way we were raised, around what money is, what it means, what it is in our lives. And those stories help us, but they also can hinder us in some ways. And we tend to think that those stories are really the truth, that everybody has the same thoughts about money. But when we start talking to each other in group, we realize that's not actually the case. And everybody has different money stories and has different hopes and fears around their money. And it really begins to unblock things that have maybe been blocked in your life for a long time. So starting with those stories is a great way to connect with the other women and a great way to connect with your own deeper truth around money. The other thing we talk about is values. So if you're going to become a values-aligned investor, what does that even mean? What values are you going to be using? How do you decide which ones to prioritize? We introduce you to something called the Sustainable Development Goals, and we help you get to real clarity on that question and get to tangible goals that you could actually make investment decisions on. The other thing we do is we expose you to values-aligned investment choices across asset classes. And what I mean by that is we start with your bank. Where do you bank? Why do you bank where you bank? What if you put your savings account somewhere else? What could it do in the world that your current bank isn't doing? And how do you keep and make sure that all of your capital is actually supporting the things you care about and not actually supporting the things that you loathe? We take you through conversations around fixed income. We talk to you about the stock market. We introduce you to private investing, which is something most women don't even know is possible for them. I didn't know until I was in my early 60s that I could actually be an angel investor. I didn't even really know what it was. I thought it was a thing that guys did. It was a thing that venture capital, I didn't know what that was. We introduce you to those things. So even if you're at a point in your life where you're not ready for that kind of investing, at least you will know what it is, a little bit about how it works, and you'll be prepared when you are ready to step into that kind of investing. We talk to you about other alternatives, real estate, forestry, etc., and help you see all of the things that are possible. And what will astonish you is that even in the stock market, you can do some very deep values-aligned investing through ETFs, which most of us also don't know about. We'll take you through a session where you talk about financial advisors and what they do, how they work, how much they charge, whether you need one, why. Are you better off with a robo-advisor? Are you a DIY kind of investor? And if you do have a financial advisor, is that advisor meeting your needs? Or are you ready to retire them, find a new one? We'll help you think about how to find a values-aligned financial advisor if that's what you want. And when you finish the course, you'll walk away with something which is called an investment policy statement that will articulate everything you learned in the course and will be a guide to you about how you're going to be investing going forward. You also will have some accountability buddies, and you will have made some commitments about what you're going to achieve in the next 3 to 6 months. And those accountability buddies are going to be there to help make sure you follow through. So those are all the things that are going to happen in the core curriculum itself. Once you finish, before I go to once you finish, I want to talk to you for a minute about your commitment. So if you're going to truly step into becoming a competent investor, a confident investor, even if you have a lot of money and you have financial advisors, it's important to know if they're telling you the right information. It's important to question them. It's important to know the questions to ask them. It's important to really look at the information they're providing you. And so to learn how to do those things and to learn how to get started, it's a commitment of time. So you are committing to your present self and you are committing to your future self when you get involved in this kind of curriculum. And what we ask you to do is please do show up. So if you are going to participate, if you're going to join us, if you're going to join the circle, please do the homework, the pre-work. It's not that much work, I promise. And it will really add to the value of the conversation and your own experience when you're in the meetings. Please also really try to show up to the meetings because, again, the value of this is in that community. We get that you will not be able to show up to everything. That's fine. The meetings will be recorded, and so you will have access to them both as video and audio if you miss something, but it's really going to be to your benefit to participate as fully as you can. And so we just ask you to think about that and to really try to do that when you join a circle. Once you finish your circle, when you join Invest for Better and you join a circle, you become a member of Invest for Better for a year. So after the circle ends, what will happen? You can continue to meet in triads. We've put you together in triads during the course of your circle, and you can continue to meet in those afterwards as your accountability group. You can also take deep dive courses. You are welcome to take deep dive courses even while you're going through the core curriculum if you have the time to do that. But we find that it's generally better for women to finish the core curriculum and then do the deep dives later. Every month, we have a series of what we call activation webinars and presentations. We usually have a couple every month, and these are experts who come and talk to us about all things financial, economic, women's empowerment, etc. Every month, we also are presenting an investment vehicle that you can invest in right now, an investment product. We give examples from the stock market, from the bond market. We give examples in the private space that both accredited and non-accredited investors can invest in. And accredited and non-accredited, if you don't know what those words mean, it's just a designation that indicates whether or not you have $1 million in net worth above and beyond the value of your home, which allows you to make investment choices and decisions that you cannot make according to the Securities and Exchange Commission if you are not an accredited investor. Being accredited or non-accredited is also could be dependent on your salary, your income level, whether you're in the financial advisory business and some other things. But it's a designation that determines what you can and can't invest in. So we give these presentations, and all of these presentations are kept in video archives on our platform, which I will describe in just a moment. We recommend that at the end of 6 months or at the end of a year, you have check-ins with your original circle to see how you've done, to see how everybody else has done. It's part of keeping you together as community. And then at the end of the year, you'll get notices from us about renewal. When you sign up, you are signing up for an auto-renew subscription. We understand that that's not always, you want to know when that is coming due. So you will get messages from us before it's coming due, reminding you so that if you decided you wanted to opt out, you could do that. We also make it really easy for you to opt out at any time along the way. So that should not be a concern for you. We use something called Mighty Networks, which is a portal, a platform that our members use for a variety of purposes. It is where you can get access to your curriculum if that has not been emailed to you previously. It also is a place where you can see all the events that we have coming up, but you will also read about all of those events in the newsletter. So you will automatically become a member of our newsletter. Our newsletters will tell you well in advance all of the speaking series that we have coming up. And so keep your eye on the newsletter to stay informed. But Mighty Networks is another place where you can find this kind of information. There's also a space there if your group wants to use it for conversations while you're together in your core circle. Some groups use Mighty Networks, some groups use email, some use Slack, some use other types of tools. It's up to you. And then, as I mentioned earlier, there's an archive there of all our videos. We have over 60 videos now online across all kinds of topics, and we have a very easy way for you to determine which of those videos is most relevant to a particular subject that you maybe are trying to learn more about. And then there's a variety of other member benefits and additional content there. So that is all of the content that we have. The next thing that we're going to talk about a little bit, and I'm going to hand the mic over to Jasmine because she's really our guru on getting women signed up. But if you're interested in taking the next step and joining our community, this is how you go about doing it. So Jasmine, if you could enlighten us, that would be great.
Thanks so much, Janine, and great to see you all. My name is Jasmine Tanguay, and I'm a program director here at Invest for Better. And I'm really here to support you through this enrollment process and throughout your journey with Invest for Better. So how you sign up for this really depends on a couple of things. I'm putting a link in the chat, which is where you should go if you haven't pre-registered or previously reached out to us about joining a circle. We have a form on that page. You'll see the button says express your interest, and you just fill out that form and tell us a little bit about what would work for you schedule wise, and then we'll get to matching you with one of our fantastic circle leaders. So you would wait for an email from me, and I would introduce you to this circle possibility, tell you a little bit about the leader, confirm that that's a good match, and then you'd have some information in that email about taking the next steps and connecting with that circle. As Janine mentioned, we have a membership, which most people opt to do as they join their circle. And then there's just an additional transaction for the course itself. So once you make those donations for membership and circle, you'll get some confirmation emails. Just follow the directions in those, and soon you'll be fully signed up. You'll end up on our online platform where you'll find a space that's specific to your circle, and you'll get an opportunity to take a look at the curriculum that Janine was just describing, take a look at some of the activities and exercises that you're going to be doing in advance of your first meeting. So if you already have been invited to a specific circle, it's a very similar process, but slightly different. Some of you may know leaders who have invited you to join their circle. And if so, what you're going to want to do is use the link that they provided to you that takes you to a special landing page, which will have their picture and information about their circle. And then there'll be buttons right there for you to select your desired membership plan. And then the remainder of the steps are all the same. You'll be hearing from your circle leaders, but you can get started anytime on the exercises prior to the first meeting. And we're here to support you every step of the way, before your meeting and during the experience itself.